Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack number 25. This is day 12, our last day, and my name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and it's sort of a great and sad thing at the same time, bittersweet, to come to our last day, final day of the 12 days of Zentangle 2024, and I think that we had a great run and did some fun stuff, and we hope this last tile will bring it all around.
And a little bit of appreciation, and we're using the Micron 01
and the phi tile.
And the phi tile.
So we're going to approach this a little bit differently. We're going to do 4 dots.
So dot, we're doing very traditional, untraditional here.
But these are pretty specific, so if you can follow along or watch first and then go back. 4 dots.
Sort of a little trapezoid there.
A trapezoid shape here. And we're going to do our border. Nice light, but so you can see it.
I love your pencil handle.
I know, right? And then we're going to do our string at the bottom. And we're going to incorporate that's our string.
Right, so work with us here.
Yeah, work with us. So I went through a lot of our tangles and which ones really spoke to me about drawing behind. And I worked within those parameters, and maybe some tangles that we don't use very often, like Quib and Vega. So trying to figure out something, a composition that went with all of them, right?
Since this is drawing behind, and really wanted to wrap it up, quote unquote, with some drawing behind here.
Okay, so with my 01 pen, you can see that we put those little just curved lines on this
on the outside of the border.
The trapezoid, yeah, outside of the. And we're going to shoot out some strokes that go to the corners, or just above, actually. It looks sort of like a Martian, right?
I guess it wasn't what I was thinking about.
What were you thinking?
I was just thinking it's like this lovely suspension of that trapezoid there.
Okay, so we're going to throw in some Halah.
Right.
Start with that, the epitome of drawing behind. How important that is, and simple concept for a beginner person that's thinking about learning how to draw. These really simple concepts are really important. So here our Halah is like really fat bands for that size. See me thinking through. I don't really want them to be too exacting.
So you can see that idea of how drawing behind and floating the pen behind it there. And that subtle curve at the end of them just makes it look like they actually are wrapping around that shape. So just building that framework, and like many things in Zentangle art, the tangle itself creates these spaces within which you can do other things.
So now we have this beautiful, I don't know what you call it,
it's like all wrapped up.
Yeah, like a
really
mummy.
Cool.
We're going to go in and we're going to do some Perk. P-U-R-K. Perk is one of our early tangles, and I love it because it's just so simple and uses simple concepts. So we're going to aura on each side of that band, and then we're going to add some orbs that are drawn behind the first one. So you never see a whole circle or orb, you see that they're going behind the ones above them here. And it's just a detail that gives it a little more sophistication than just drawing circles in a band.
And you can see how Maria's like filling in those little interstices where there are gaps.
Yeah.
And also she's going right over that aura line, just overlapping it.
And what that does is it makes you look like you can draw those circles right with leaving a space there. And how did you do that? Well, the line was there. We just kind of went over it, right?
And as we proceed, you'll see the importance of having put that little aura line in there, because it gives a real separation between the overlapping bands.
Right, right.
Particularly when we get to shading. Nice. So we have a real texture there. So we've done Halah, Perk within the Halah, and now let's do Quib.
Quib is an interesting gathering of lines. You're not going to see anything but curvy lines and straight lines in this tangle.
And they're all done one behind the other.
Right. So the first one, I wanted curves to go across the bands so that you can see the bands going behind it. If I waited to do those curved bands going across till later, they would be going behind as opposed to going in front. So by drawing the bands you want in front first, and that's what we're doing here, the ones that are going to stand out, that have some character.
And you can see taking sort of advantage of that string down there.
Well, it does have a very specific purpose, so realize this at the beginning here. And I'm just going willy-nilly here and there with my flowing lines, and you can see that something is starting to come together.
And the more lines you put, the more drawing behind you necessarily end up doing here.
Right.
I love that little ends that you do there.
Yeah.
So now you can see a lot of them. Now, when you're doing the straight ones, they're going to be behind and sort of like present the curvy ones in front of them. And just really letting focus on the one you're doing. I think that's one of the most important aspects of Zentangle, is to focus on the stroke you're making or the element you're making, and then once that's done, go to the next one instead of thinking, oh, well, what's the end result going to be?
Right. So you can see now we're going behind all these beautiful little curved, energetic bands, and we're just going to fill in all the spaces behind that. It doesn't have to be exact, because nobody's going to go and say, oh, there's one that's cut off there. That's a little bit short.
So just like in this house, there's lots of tassels. And this, you can see where we're going with this tassel look, where the elements of the tassels aren't perfectly lined up. But that's what gives it its character and its life, like somebody is shaking it.
You can see I'm going back and looking to see where the strands on this tassel-like creation, which is completely made up of tangles in their original format, right?
Yeah. And you can always, just see where you want to put another one. Look at it, let it talk to you.
So now I'm looking at adding some drama. I want to put a little bit of black where there seems to be spaces. I'm redrawing lines, adding a little darker for the ones in front. The other ones will set behind.
So you can see how easy it is to find the quote-unquote top ones. And particularly, and you can see how that just really just lifts it up a little bit and brings your attention to it.
Now find some spaces in there that should be background. And we're going to start filling those in with nice black.
Looks really neat.
It's coming.
Right.
Yeah,
a tassel that we're shaking. Yeah.
We can shake it.
We get it.
We get it.
Okay, so I guess a tassel has to have a tassel, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm all about the finish, right? If you guys don't already know, I grew up working in a fabric store. My mom had a store that sold all kinds of fabric and sewing machines and ribbons and borders and things. And it was always a part of my life, lace work and different, I don't know, just
all the notions things, and stuff.
Notions and buttons and all these beautiful things.
So you can see, like what Maria was talking about earlier, that, finding a space and just adding a little bit of that solid color, the depth that brings to it.
And here comes Vega, which is, a pretty obscure tangle in the bag of tricks, right? And it's pretty simple. It's a border tangle. So we're going to add some diagonal, almost candy cane stripes.
Like a subtle S shape there.
Yeah.
Or reverse S shape.
And you can see that they're hovering just a little bit bigger than the bands there. Which just, again, character, complex.
Just wrapping around. So you do it in one direction, so where's the Halah? Well, here comes the drawing behind.
Here.
So you have these like ribbons wrapping around from the other side or the other direction.
And I'm really not concerned about even spacing so much as what looks nice, you know? I don't measure spaces.
And I like that I didn't notice it before, but the wrappings of the Vega are pretty much similar to the strands and the tassels.
In the Perk, right. And then I'm going to just go in and add a little dot, which is a powerful symbol, right? Into those background.
So there we have our hanging tassel.
It's kind of cute, right?
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. See how I'm looking through and I can see where the lines are coming. And we're going to literally draw behind this whole image by going on the back of the tile and continuing our composition. How fun is that, right? I bet you never thought of that.
So speaking of a button.
Drawing behind, here's a button or a metal hanging device so that our tassel isn't just, in midair without any support.
Right.
And,
So this way it won't fall off.
It won't fall off.
That's really important.
I thought it was,
yeah.
Because I have tassels all around the house. Don't ask my kids because Mom has more tassels than anybody. So I'm going to take that ribbon from the front and we're going to attach it in the back so that it doesn't fall down.
Right.
It makes perfect sense to me, and that's all that matters. It's my tile. I make the rules.
And so you can always add an orb. Just filling that in.
So it's almost, if you picture that there's like a tack behind that button, and you push it into a wall, and then you can wrap this just around there.
So again, with the Vega, and you can see, literally drawing behind.
So we took the whole concept of drawing behind and tried to take it to such extremes that maybe you wouldn't have thought of doing that.
So a little shading on the edges of that strand really makes it look round and gives it dimension.
Yep, round. The Perk, I want that those orbs to seem three-dimensional as opposed to flat. So it was maybe done with very specific threads, and they became more three-dimensional.
And you can see the value of putting that aura in those Halah bands that the Perk went in.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just adding, wherever my pencil might go, some defining shading. You know, that's I never thought of it, but it defines certain things, and it brings it to the forefront.
Well, it creates that contrast with what's behind, so it really lifts it up and gives that sense of dimension.
So I'm adding gray here and there, enough to give it a texture. You want a lot of those other strands to go behind. Right there, you can see where you want that.
And then just softening it all with the tortillon. Right? That's pretty
moving,
cool.
Right, it's moving.
And then doing the same on the back. This is really fun. And a little shading. Because the tortillon will still have some graphite on it. Gives a real subtle look.
But wait, I just couldn't leave this alone, right? I'm going to just go around and add what looks like to me needs to be there. Adding love.
And I think that's a big part of Maria's. Here we go.
Here we go. I'm sure most of you have a pair of scissors in the house, and we're going to do a little bit of something. I know scissors are not in the project pack, but I'm confident that you could probably find some. So I'm going to go in and draw a light pencil line there, and we're going to cut that piece away to give it more dimension. Just for fun.
Just for fun. So you did a really good decal there. That's pretty cool.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to draw a decal than a straight line, right?
Trim that little corner off. And voila.
So, how's that for drawing behind?
Beautiful.
Put my chop. Add a little love there.
Sign and date.
This is my exuberant signature.
Yeah. Wrap it around there.
We're done.
So this was very fun. I love this tile. What a great way to finish the 12 days series. And please stay with us because we've got a wrap-up video to just go through all of the ones we did.
And hang this tassel on a little shelf somewhere, remembering that day at the end of the 12 days. And I hope you have a great season, holiday.
Much love to everyone, and thank you for playing along with us. Please post your tiles so we can all enjoy it.
And I love tassels, so I can't wait to see all your tassels.
And thank you all so much for adding so much beauty to the world.
See you later.
Bye for now.